Okay, my first house here. This is a business neighborhood. So I always call this Main Street Middle Earth because I decided to do, like, instead of just doing traditional houses, I decided to challenge myself and make everything businesses, like a shopping district or like a small town. So instead of places where people live, these are all places that, people can go do business, like a real Hobbit town. So this first one is the mercantile. So it's like a general store.
And once again, all of the names are usually appropriate for the house theme. So the character that owns this is named Mercantile.
Right. I tried to name the businesses like what the store or the business was. And I also tried like every place pretty much like there's like a flag or a banner. So you kind of think of it like that's the sign out front or something. I tried to pick something that looked like maybe it could be, your Joe's Diner or whatever. And also, this neighborhood, like my Bree neighborhood, is a trick or treat neighborhood. So if you are doing the quests or the deed, you can come here, and all the Halloween doormats are out. So anybody that needs to do it, they can come here. It's West Nook is the neighborhood on Landerval, and you can, get your daily quest done.
Nice.
So yeah, you can come here and like you're coming. This is like a little general store, so you stop here and you can buy some fruits and vegetables or apples. It's just like a little place to stop, and it's sort of a like a almost like a convenience store for the Shire.
7-Elevenies.
Yes, exactly. You can get beverages. You can get a snack.
You can get
You can
weapons. Look.
You can get weapons, you can get a map so you can find your way around. Even there's clothing back here or some other weapons, some little handy dandy containers or a lamp. Mushrooms. Little tourist mugs that say I heart Hobbiton.
And this is one of the small houses, right? This is
Yeah,
not a
it's a small house.
So you have very few hooks. So it's very difficult to fully flesh out some of these things.
Right. And since they just put the new changes through, I did a quick run through last night just to make sure that things weren't completely wonky. Since they changed the small wall slot, but I haven't played around with it yet. So
I like the way your mannequins are set. That's cute.
yeah, they're modeling their I Heart Hobbiton t-shirts.
Where's the I Heart Hobbits underwear panties?
They're hidden in the secret room where the video nasties are.
Behind that one curtain.
Yeah, behind that one curtain. In the I hate Chromite section. And then for colors, I tried to, I have that pink wall paint. I've had it in my chest forever. And I was like, I got to use that pink wall paint. And I kind of like picked up, there's a color of pink in this floor coloring. And I thought, oh, I could make it work. So that's why the walls are pink. I'm like, I'm going to use that pink. So I did it and I kind of matched it to the floor. I was proud of myself. And there's some pink in the rug too.
Yeah, I see that. It's nice.
So that's all. It's just a little mercantile where you can buy a little bit of anything and everything.
The
Get
store is owned by
brew.
a grandma, old lady.
Yeah, it might be.
England, welcome.
For the next houses, let's go down and do Heat Miser and Snow Miser.
Okay.
So these houses, you have to be a little familiar with an old Christmas cartoon called A Year Without a Santa Claus from a long time ago. But it was about Mother Nature canceled Christmas or Santa canceled Christmas because Mother Nature had two annoying sons, Heat Miser and Snow Miser. And because they were always fighting, and Heat Miser controlled the south and Snow Miser controlled the north, and they wouldn't let Santa through to deliver the packages. So Heat Miser's house is over here, and he likes all things hot and boiling and lava. So that's kind of the theme here. His yard is all like anything fiery and red and orange. And they each have a ballista in their yard because they're always fighting. So Heat Miser's ballista is manned by this Grim Reaver. Hey, it shot straight on my screen.
It shot straight, but it turned to the right on
Yeah.
my screen.
And they've been resetting kind of crooked too after you use them. Well, this one looks straight.
This one looks straight after reset.
Huh. Last night they were resetting crookedly.
We're on Landerval, Technocat. Ooh. What is that in front of the door?
So, yeah, this is lava, and when you look at the walls, I tried to make it look like the wallpaper, I tried to make it look like there's flames going up the walls. And those little orange candles, I wanted it to kind of give the effect that the lava was bubbling. So that's why I put those sort of round candle things. And this is his weird flaming throne, best I could do at the time. And then he has a Fire Grim pet, because in the cartoon, Heat Miser and Snow Miser had these little minion dudes that worked for them at their little kingdoms. So that's kind of why they're there. That's supposed to represent their minions. And in here, he captured some of Snow Miser's snowmen, and he's torturing them on fire.
I like that effect.
Because he's like boiling his little head in a pot. And then these are those flaming swords on the wall, Ludunians. I thought they would be a nice effect in here with all the fire and red.
Yeah, I always like those swords flaming and making noise.
Yeah, they have such a cool sound. Flaming deep map on the wall. So that's what this house is about. It's just kind of it's not really in the business theme. I think these might have been the first houses we bought in this neighborhood. So they're a little off theme, but we just like them anyway. So we just have them. I sort of describe these like, this is where the parents park the kids when they're shopping for Yule Fest. So they leave the kids here with Heat Miser and Snow Miser, so the kids can help fight, keep them occupied while the parents Yule shop for the presents.
Drop the kids off at the playground and go shop.
Right.
It's the ball pit.
That's right. Except for it's a lava pit here.
Right. Well,
depends on what your kids are like.
Snow Miser's house. So, of course, we're in the land of ice and snow now. So he has his dwarf ghost manning his ballista. Although this ghost is sort of wandering around, not really paying attention very well. Poor little Bingo here being held hostage, but it's snowing.
Got to give the ghost more free Orange Julius.
Barefoot
Yeah,
with a hood
maybe.
on, huh?
So this one, you come in and his minions, they're kind of mean. They're bullying this one guy, as you can see. Like, clearly they're beating him up. So they've got some issues within their ranks, these snow people. And the bear's holding the icicle.
Inkaline says, "How many neighborhoods do you crazy people control now?"
I don't know. I stopped counting. So, of course, this is icy and blue and cold. And so I put the white bubbles. You know, you're sort of thinking maybe they're like snowballs on the floor. Since they don't have an ice floor, you know, the icy walls, I just sort of imagine they're snowy. So we have some, you know, ice and his icy throne here, and like you imagine there's ice crystals coming up from the floor, and his little ice grim or snow grim here.
We did this house shortly after in Anvil when they released the housing cosmetics for the dwarf marks or whatever that you could get from the instances, because they added them after.
Yeah.
Long time after. So as soon as all this stuff came out, I was like, whoa, new housing items. What kind of a theme can we do? That's where the heat miser and snow miser thing came about.
I like all the snowy stuff. They need an icy or snowy floor, though.
Yeah, they do.
Need to make it like an ice rink, and so whenever you put it in a house, it actually makes you slide around. Like, remember the floor in the mirror halls?
Oh yeah.
They could make that happen, because when you're fighting the final boss in the mirror halls, you're sliding around on ice type of thing.
They should do that. That's a good idea.
In Ultima, they had an item that you could place down on the floor that if you stepped on it, you would slip, fall on your butt.
Kind of like a banana peel.
Yeah, but it was like an ice patch.
All right, our next house is up here on the left. This is Eternal Rest, and it is a funeral home because every small town has one. So it has sort of that, you know, tranquil, tacky funeral home yard. So the funeral that's going on here right now is Narmaleth's funeral. So, like, you know, any funeral home, you come over here and, you know, maybe this is where you talk to the funeral director and plan your funeral for your loved one or friend, you know, and there's flowers and kind of tacky furniture. And over here, this is where the banquet is for the funeral. Maybe there's some dusty silk plants. No. Then up here we have, you know, Narmaleth in her glory. For all her sacrifices, you pay tribute here. And over here, we might be doing the elegy, you know, talking about all her, she did her misdeeds, but in the end, she really saved everybody. So she was a good soul. You know, on the walls, generic funeral home paintings. Sort of. In here is like a little memorial for her. You can write down your thoughts, guest book for the family. And I wanted to use carpeting, because they usually do have sort of a weird carpeting in those places.
Oh, yeah.
And then back here is the embalming room, crematorium. So, you gotta have that. Some tools of the trade on the wall. And instruction book, because, maybe this Hobbit funeral director doesn't really know what they're doing. Looks like a home chemistry set here. And I hadn't seen any other funeral homes in LotRO, so I decided to make one myself.
Looks good.
Because I love a challenge.
TechnoCat says, you captured the funeral home vibe perfectly.
Thank you.
Put that on your resume.
That's right. I could apply for an interior decorator job. Okay, I haven't actually interior decorated anything real, but I'm really good at fake interior decorating.
Oh my gosh, I was telling my mom about our last tour. My mom is... She doesn't get Twitch. She doesn't play video games. And I was trying to explain her to her, and she was like, oh, they decorate things in real life? And I was like, no, in the video game I play. And she was like, oh yeah, I don't do virtual reality.
Sounds like my mom. This is Pawn Shop, and it is a pawn shop. So it's a junk shop. You never know what you might find here. All kinds of goodies. I always have a hard time going in this door.
You might need to rotate the...
Treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to hit it at the right angle. Okay, and it's really nothing in here. It's just like anything goes. It's just junk piled up like a dusty thrift store. You never know. I was mostly thinking it was a good place to store stuff that I just have in my inventory, and that's kind of what it is. But it was actually worked as a house too. Plastic Christmas tree.
You always see plenty of those at the Goodwill.
Oh yeah. Giant dwarf statue for your living room.
Put that in your bathroom, and then what make it? What was the Jeff? Jeff, what's his name? Is watching
If
you poop.
Goldblum is watching you poop.
That's right.
What?
You
Evil
haven't
altar.
seen that? You haven't seen that meme?
No.
People put a picture of Jeff Goldblum, and then they say they put a caption under it. Jeff Goldblum is watching you poop.
Unsettling.
People are weird.
They also have a Jeff Goldblum Harambe shower curtain too.
They do, yeah. They have several Jeff Goldblum shower curtains.
Do you remember who Harambe was? Did you ever hear about that?
The name
Jessica?
sounds familiar, but I don't remember why.
Harambe was a gorilla where
Oh,
a little
right.
child fell down into the gorilla pit, and the gorilla was holding it, and they killed the gorilla to save the child, even though the
Right.
gorilla wasn't really going to hurt the child. But
They couldn't risk it, right?
yeah, so it became a big meme, and so somebody combined the meme with Jeff Goldblum, and they made a shower curtain with Harambe and Jeff Goldblum.
I guess. How bizarre.
I want to know how much money they made selling those.
Probably a decent amount.
Okay, next shop is the oh, this one is Remedies, and it is the apothecary or drugstore. So you come here and, you know, the little mushrooms around the chair because they grow their own mushrooms for medications.
It's where you can sit out there and meditate while you're waiting for.
Yeah, you're waiting to pick up your prescription.
That's right.
Pre-medicate?
Maybe.
Pre-medicate for the medication?
You pre-medicate for your flu shot.
Oh my gosh, I watched Little Shop of Horrors a couple weeks ago.
So yeah, you come in here and it's medication, you know, this is like the pharmacy desk, you know, where you get your stuff. They've got their recipes and things here, and over here there's indoor plants that maybe they use to make their potions and what have you, you know, if you've got a bellyache or whatever. Love potions. And back here they make the serious medicines. Serious recipes are back here, you know, where they're locked up. Mirkwood map, because maybe they get some special dangerous plants there.
Spider venom.
Oh, maybe. There's my ghost from the gourds, although it always paths away because these little houses are too small. Someday I'll go around and I'll fix where they're placed so I can actually see them path better.
Oh, DC Lob. There it is.
Maybe that's the pharmacist. It's like Harry Potter. The ghosts live with the living. I swear since the patch, like some of the items in the game, they look more illuminated to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been out of the game, I think since the last time I did the tour. Everything looks sort of
Brighter.
more glowy. Maybe I'm just crazy.
I'd bet on that.
These are supposed to look like lab coats over here on the wall.
On the coat rack?
Yeah, the coat rack. The next house. Oh, this is the library where you get knowledge or read spooky things. That, you know, hobbits, they don't like to adventure, but they like to read about adventures. So this place, they come to read about adventures in a safe space.
Because you're not supposed to be adventurous when you're a hobbit. Otherwise, you get the
Right.
evil eye.
And when I was a kid, half the little kids called the library the library, so that's why I called it library. So you can imagine coming in here and there's hobbits. They come in here and it's sort of dark and spooky because they're reading about spooky adventures, you know, especially like if it's a rainy day, they'll come here and it's kind of scary in here and so there's maps on the wall like you would see in a library or tapestry with like a story illustrated. So that's kind of the feel I was going for. You can read about Karsgar or Smog. A warg head by the fireplace if you're really brave, but you don't have to like actually see a living warg. Of course, there's a cat by the fireplace because all libraries should have a cat. The next door, oh, it's Pie Coin. This is the bank. So the yard, I put like, you know, you go to banks and they have those innocuous knockout rose bushes and kind of ugly pointy arborvitaes. They all look the same, at least where I live they do. So that's kind of why I made the yard look the way it looks.
And this is Picoin cryptocurrency. So you know how you have cryptocurrency? Well, Picoin made all his money by making a cryptocurrency, Picoins. So
Because he's a hobbit.
that's right. And he invested in Holly Hornblower's failing pie business. Remember, she has those pies that were poisoned or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he infused her business with money, and so he was able to, once she became successful, he was able to get all his money off of that. So this is his vault, public bank.
That's because the other hobbits were hoarding the best pie fillings for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like, it's a bank. So you come in, the bank teller's here. There's guards, dwarven guards, of course, because, you know, dwarves look menacing. And there's the vault behind you with the big lock. And we're doing a lot of black and gold in here. And so this is kind of like on the wall, the relief of Gondaman. It kind of looks like, you know, banks always have those sort of generic looking plaques on walls or symbols of their bank. So that's what it's supposed to look like. Or this is kind of like a generic painting on the wall that you might see in a bank. You know, there's a gem over here on the wall. Maybe this is like a 50 years in business kind of thing, although Piecoin's relatively new.
First gem made.
Back here is the actual vault. So this is where they count the money. This is like the actual gemstones that they keep, like in the safe maybe, and got a map of the Silvertine lodes, like where they found treasure in there. Maybe these bookcases represent like all their books of accounts on the wall. They don't have computers, of course. This tapestry represents like the founding of the bank, like the partnership or something like that.
It didn't invite Holly.
I guess not. Or we can just pretend she's there. They need some Hobbit tapestries. But everything is very golden, shiny, and black and red. Kind of, sort of, I think those bookcases look very Grecian to me. So it's kind of, I don't know. They look a little tacky, but that's okay. It's a bank. I wish these windows looked like they're transparent if you come from behind, but from the front, when you look through the round door, you can see like there's a countertop here, so you can look in and sort of see into the vault, but you just have to pretend like it's an actual doorway or a block that you can't get through.
Katie asks if you ever got the lighthouse issue fixed.
I did get the lighthouse issue fixed. There was something sunken into a wall. I can't remember what it was. I went back there. I literally like tore almost everything out of there until I found it. It was really hard to find, but I did fix it.
Sucks you had to get through everything.
Come over here and look at this gem on the wall.
It changes
Yeah,
colors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
Isn't that from
It's the very first Moria instance. The Forgotten Treasury, I think is what they call it.
the treasury, yeah.
It's a rare drop?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think many people do the treasury.
Yeah, they don't do it because the puzzle at the beginning. where
I've
you
done it
have to-
before, but I don't remember getting that.
To do the Forgotten Treasury, you have to watch as you enter. If you don't watch as you enter, you miss it. But the statues rotate in a certain order, and you have to remember that order and do it backwards or something.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. With like 3 people.
I wish it was a bigger item. I mean, not giant, but just slightly bigger.
It is rather small, but it's cute. It's nice that it changes color.
I think it would look good, like if you sunk it into a picture frame, like a bigger frame, it would offset it a little better.
This next one's awesome.
Okay, the next one, this is a kin house, and this one is meat, pies, and pudding, which was, I came up with, I don't know why I came up with that name, but I made kinships for like all my characters, and that's what that's what I came up with. But the inspiration for this place is medieval times. If you've ever been to one of those medieval times restaurants where you go and you're assigned like to a team and they do jousting in the middle, and you like eat with your hands, and like you cheer on your knight and you do like the huzzah kind of stuff. So that's what this place is. It's like a medieval times restaurant, and there's 2 teams. There's like, I think it's Moria versus Eriador inside. But so like that's kind of, if you look at the yard, you kind of have like 2 encampments, 2 flags. Like there's kind of like a little siege going on here of this tower. It's just sort of representative of what you'll find inside the restaurant. So this is where the hobbits go for some fun. Since they don't really fight, they can pretend fight. But instead of like jousting, they have bear fights here.
Wait, y'all don't do that every night?
Well, my cats fight every day and every night. They sort of smack each other. That's sort of like that. So when you come in, this is the lobby area, and you get to pick your side. There's the bear with the stein. He lets you pick your team. And so the 2 tapestries, like they're showing fighting, and you pick whichever side. They're representative of the different teams. And it's just different warlike decor and armor. This is the menu hanging here on the scroll. And then when you come in, if you stand here, there's always like a king or a queen at medieval times. So this is the throne of the king or the queen. But right now it's a snowman because I stole it was Candaith. I stole him for another house. I'll show you later. But like there's 2 sides if you turn around, and like you'll see 2 tables, 2 teams, 2 sides. 2 different banners representing the 2 sides, and then on the walls you have like Team Moria over here on this side, and Team Eriador over here on this side. So this is where you sit and eat with your hands and do your huzzahs, and here's the bears fighting in the middle. And these are supposed to be the corpses of all the dead bears piling up in front of the king snowman, one-eyed snowman with his dog. And so the decor in here is just like fighting and cheering and, you know, that kind of thing. And over here, there's like a little bar lounge where you can come in and get a snack or get a drink if you want.
The fountain drink bar?
Exactly. Adult beverages. It's a family restaurant, but you can get adult beverages because you need a mug of something to cheer. And of course, there's very like warlike music with drums, and so while you watch the bears fight. Oh, and all the weapons on the walls. They choose their weapons. You know, the two trainers here. They help the bears fight too. And then over here in the corner, this is like the treasure. The winner gets the spoils. So they get whatever's in the treasure chest. When I placed it, they didn't open, so I'll have to replace that treasure chest so that the lid doesn't open up into the watcher stand.
Probably just bring it forward a little bit.
Yeah.
The music is also very appropriate.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah,
fits
I love
really
the
well.
music in here.
What music is this from?
I can't remember.
This might be Warren Three Peaks theme?
Is it? Maybe.
I don't
You might
remember.
be right.
We'll check when we go out in the front area.
Uh-huh.
So down here is the restroom. So the powder room. If you need to get away from all the chaos. Yeah, it's just a little, you know, you can read a book or a magazine. And of course, here's the powder room. We got a chicken. I don't know why, but in these houses, if they're indoors, they always put the little surprise person that comes out over in the doorway. So we got a chicken. And then if you go all the way down into the lower area, this is the kitchen where they prepare the foods. So you just see dishes in the oven, and over here is the sink where you wash the dishes. Obviously, there's piles of dirty dishes here because this is a busy place. I always picture like these are where the Harry Potter house elves work. So you can picture it full of those. And they still haven't fixed the singing bowls. They still talk. Which is a real shame because they were so nice.
Long is the blackwood's memory. Dark are the hearts of old trees. Oak and beech, pine
So
and
that's
willow
meat
pine,
pies and
that
pudding.
age in shadow. Ah, but the new white stream flows over earth, flows over stone. The days are slow, the nights are deep, but lo, comes the dawn.
Let me
without
check the
cloud.
music here.
Water, oh water, bright glinting, water, herald of
Helm's
life
Deep
renewed,
combat themes.
ever-changing, changer of
Helm's
all,
Deep.
cleanser
Really?
of tears and
That's
wood
it?
defiled. Mournful
Yeah, I didn't-
tree, we hear your lament. Can you hark to
Is
the
it maybe
whisper?
epic battles?
The elder time passes swiftly.
Maybe it's
Well,
those
it's-
big
Stories of
battles.
old,
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I don't think it's a barter from there, but I
yet
think you have to
swifter
barter
is
it
the
from
blessed blood
actually at
that
Helm's Deep
carries
using the
all worlds
landscape
to the
currency.
sea.
But man, I just don't remember that. Huh.
Yeah, I don't either, but if it's from the big battles, it's the only good thing from the big battles. Come to the, yeah, way over to the right in this little hidden yard. This is Speckled Richard's house. This is the coffee shop where you come after you've partied too much at Meat Pies and Pudding, or just where like the hipsters hang out.
So the name Speckled Richard seems a little unusual, but since you can't use the word dick, have you heard of the dessert Spotted Dick from the UK?
Is it a dessert? I thought it was a.
It's a dessert, yes.
Okay.
It's called Spotted Dick. So I made a character named Speckled, and his last name is Richard. So it's close to being Spotted Dick, but Speckled Richard. That's how we came up with this name.
So this is an artisanal coffee shop bakery. So you can eat outside if it's a nice day. It's got a little outside seating or sit on the ground.
And Jessica may know one thing or other about a coffee shop.
Oh,
Maybe. Oh, I just love coffee.
She always orders coffee.
I like coffee too.
Weirdos.
Yeah, we know you are.
So this is kind of a calm, plain space. You can get all your cool different coffees here or baked goods. Little candlelit coffee shop table. Over here, you can the barista.
It's kind of a hipsterish coffee shop, so they've got some kombucha.
Yes, the special.
Oh, is that
green
what that is?
kombucha fizzing over here.
That's what I think when I think kombucha too. Toxic.
Here's a samovar of coffee. That's what it's supposed to be, even though it's the glorious beer mug. And then there's some pastries or donuts or whatever, because you need that in a coffee shop. And right here is where they perform, like some indie singer with their guitar. Maybe it's Sufjan Stevens. He's singing here some nights. And then back here's the kitchen and the bakery where they make the baked goods. So you've got your breads, artisanal breads, farm to table, of course. Always farm to table.
Is the farm outside too?
Well, it's the Shire. There's always farms.
Oh, that's true.
And there's where you do the dishes. There's always got to be a place to wash dishes. I think when these sinks or these bowls came out, I was like, oh, I can finally do a sink. I was so excited. So it's just nice and calming in here. Some wind chimes, of course, and a little wreath. So it's just the sort of the antidote to meat pies and pudding. Okay, next place is down the hill. This is Hives, and it is a garden center, which is what I am all
bees.
about.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know you could have yard bees.
Yeah, I'm a gardener, so I love gardening, and I'm all about gardening. So this is the garden center, because hobbits, of course, love gardening too. And it's, I called it beehives because it's all about pollinators and pollination and that kind of gardening, flowers. And so, of course, they have an apiary here. So there's bees and beehives.
Technocat says it does look a bit like some French presses I've seen.
It does look like a French press. Yeah, my dad was really into coffee for a while. He gets into things and he gets like so into it. He knows everything about it, and he of course bought a French press, and so it looked just like it. So this is like your typical garden center. Like over here would be your outdoor furnishings and decor, or your patio stuff, and pots for plants, or like decorations and flags and things like that, wind chimes, things you might hang on your fences. And then over here is the house plants that you could purchase, because they usually sell those too. And hobbits love all things garden. And then here is the aquatic plants. So if you have a pond, you can buy your water lilies of different kinds, or if you want fish for your hydroponics, you can buy them, or goldfish or koi. And I use these long planters to, they sort of represent, like flower flats, like if you're there buying just your little pansies or annuals, and they always have those big long tables of just flats of little flowers. So that's kind of what this is supposed to represent. Or your bigger perennial pots of plants over here on the tables. And then over here is the wreaths that you might want to buy, or garlands, more house plants. This is the mushroom section because most hobbits, they might have their mushroom pantry at home, and they might grow their own mushrooms. So this is where they can get their mushroom spores and their mushroom growing supplies. And then this is where you get like maybe your pesticides and herbicides, like to get rid of the pests. And this is the pollinator section. So, they have a special area devoted to bees and apiary supplies. So if you're a beekeeper, your honey cake, or special flowers for bees and that kind of thing.
I love how versatile that wallpaper is. It works equally as well in the garden center as it did in the lava house.
Yeah, that's from Technocat in the chat.
Yeah, sorry.
It's really, it is very versatile. It's so distinctive, but boy, it is versatile.
That one just came out, didn't it?
Oh no, this is from Yule Fest. I think it's one of like the earliest ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Fall of Khazad-dûm one, I think.
Yeah, I am. It is a bit different, isn't it?
I love how this wallpaper in here, it looks so good here. Plus it picks up the green in the floor. I love that. And like in the different little green rugs, like all this stuff it just really goes together for a garden center. And then this room is the Christmas room, because I swear most places where I go to garden centers, they always have like a Christmas area all year long. So this is their year-round Yule Fest area. So you can always get your Yule supplies no matter what time of year it is at the beehives. You can come in here and get your tree decorations and ornaments and wreaths and stuff for Yule Fest. For those that like to celebrate Yule.
Year round.
Year round. That's right. This wallpaper, what is this? This is the Dwarven, I think it's called Dwarven Yule paper. Let me look. Oh no, it's Summerfest. Sorry, I'm wrong. I'm confusing it with another one. This is the Summerfest. There's a couple summer ones, but this particular one is called Summerfest Wall. I was confusing it with the dwarf one that has like plant things hanging down and jewels hanging down.
So there's a few that look similar.
Yeah.
I just love the pet bees out here. I'm so glad that they added the ability to make
Oh,
pets
yeah.
into housing items.
When did that happen?
A year or so
Year
ago?
and a
Oh, really?
half, year ago, something.
So you can put your cosmetic pets in your housing
Yes.
slots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You either do it with mithril coin or with things you can barter from the curator.
That came with the Rohan housing.
Wait, it costs mithril coin to do it?
Yes.
No, I said you can either do it with mithril coin or with things that you can barter from the curator.
I see.
Yes, they're called pet harnesses. And there's also the horse harnesses, which you can only place the horses in the Rohan housing, but the pets you can place in old style housing too, but you just have to get the pet harnesses
Okay.
or mithril coins. Okay, that is the end of the cul-de-sac. Let's go over to the Grange. So let's go to this bridge over here. Some people don't know what a Grange is. Do you know what a Grange Hall is?
I think it's farming something.
Yes, it's like I live in Pennsylvania, and I grew up in a rural area, so there's lots of farming, and we have granges here, which I didn't realize a lot of people don't know what they are, but it's like a farming organization, or an organization that's like just all about rural concerns of an area. So like the Grange, that's what this is. It's supposed to be like a Grange Hall, so it's the Buckleberry Grange. So it's just all about like farming concerns, or things that go on in a country community, as opposed to like a more urban area. So this is what this is. And they often have like we have a big fair here that the Grange runs and things like that. So that's what the yard is. It's like, they have tents, and they feature like their biggest pumpkin, and here's like a table with all the farm vegetables and fruits, and over here's some vegetables, and they've got the mushroom house. So
No, say it right. Vegetables.
yeah, vegetables. Sorry, in Pennsylvania we call them vegetables. And pumpkins. They're not pumpkins, they're pumpkins.
Pumpkins, vegetables, and library.
Libraries. So the Grange Hall, like this is where you would have Grange meetings once a month, or sometimes they'll have like contests, or like seminars on farming or gardening, that kind of thing. So it's just decorated in sort of country things like flowers, just basic wooden furniture, taxidermy. This part is like the main hall of the Grange, and everything here is like all the award-winning items from their big annual festival or fair. So like the award-winning ales and cakes and flower arrangements and flower displays and wreaths. And over here's all the different samples from all the best wines and kegs and vegetables and berries and mushrooms and pastries. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you get at a fair for a Grange. There's all kinds of pies, and they all get awards and ribbons. So that's what the banners are supposed to represent, like blue ribbons, like the best in show. They also give awards to animals as well, like best pig, best sheep. It's crazy. You just have to see it to believe it.
Lunori, I did stretch. Thank you for that. And Varden Lad, thanks for hanging out with us today. Enjoy the rest of your day as well. And Technocat says, it looks like a 4-H hall.
It's a lot like 4-H. I mean, that is kind of what the Grange is. It's almost the same thing as 4-H, but more like an adult businessy thing. Sorry, my cat is going bonkers. She wants attention right now.
Yeah.
So this is like their lecture hall, and this month's lecture or seminar is about which comes first, chicken or egg. And the chicken, an egg, and there's of course a chicken here, and this is supposed to be a chicken's nest with some eggs in it, and like we have all the maps representing like different areas like Bree and Shire and Archette, and so that's all this is. Like if you want to come hear this month's lecture, these are just the little lecture room. They get very serious about their beliefs about farming here. Some big arguments. Oh, and there's a demonstration this month about farriers and horseshoeing. So that's why the forge is here and little Sebastian the pony.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
So you can learn how to shoe your own horse.
Those horseshoes are so much bigger than little Sebastian's feet.
I know. Poor little Sebastian.
Could wear one of those around his neck.
He could.
Parks and Recs reference it is. Little Sebastian. When I first got that horse, I was like, oh my gosh, they didn't.
Down here is the archives. You can look at old farming records. Obviously, it's a little dusty down here. And, but you can look at like the old farmers' almanacs and look at the old records about the weather and try to predict what's going to happen next year and see what Farmer Maggot did 20 years ago and how he grew his good crop of mushrooms. Except they never tell each other their real secrets. Then down here is where they have their big suppers, because that's what we do here in Pennsylvania. We always have like spaghetti dinners and ham and pot pie dinners, and it's Popeye, not pot pie. And what people around America call pot pie, like those pies in a crust, that is not what people in Pennsylvania call pot pie.
What's the difference?
Ours is totally different. Ours is like a stew with like big flat noodles in it. It's like moist. There's no like baked pie crust or anything.
So it's more like a stroganoff or something?
Kind of like a soup stroganoff. It's not creamy. It's like
more soupy.
Look up Pennsylvania Dutch pot pie. It's like a noodly pie, like my name, Noodly Pot Pie.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my name came from. Chromite thinks Pennsylvanians are weirdos. I can't say I disagree. So anyway, this is where they have their big dinners. They eat. I mean, where I live, like, there's always, you just drive down the road and there's signs everywhere. Ham dinner Saturday night, like every church, every hall. It's like always some kind of fundraiser for some organization. And you just like go there and you pay $10 and you get like a pile of food and you can sit there and eat it or you can take it home. It's the weirdest thing, but it's everywhere and everybody does it.
That's good though.
It's usually pretty good depending on what you like. The other thing is there's a lot of Amish dinners that are fundraisers, but it's always the same menu. And the Amish, they love creamed celery, which is the grossest thing ever. They always serve creamed celery. Ugh.
Technocat says they sound like actual hobbits.
They are.
What's up, Chromite?
So she was saying that these things, these dinners and stuff were all over the place, whatever. But that was the before times. This is the COVID time.
Yeah. Although they still have them, but yeah, it's usually like pickup now. There's no like sit down and eat together anymore. It's just like you kind of drive up and you buy tickets ahead of time and then you go. All right, next house is to the right here. Oh, this is order in the court. So when you approach, this is our corrupt courthouse. You see, it's very like sort of symmetrical, like a courthouse might be. So you've got 2 Hobbit topiary guards, and there's
Is
a
the
big
kin
pile of
named
money
order in the
here.
court too?
Yes, the kin is order in the court too.
So we've got a character named Order in the Court and a kin named Order in the Court.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it is order in the court as a character too, because it's a deluxe house. So you can see the mat is a big pile of money because this is a corrupt court. And the judge here is corrupt. It's Judge Angry Bees, and he is corrupt. You come in, and court is in session. And, the justice statues here, obviously they're not like the normal ones. They're not justices blind. They don't even look like they're fair. So the trial's going on here. Juries, all candidates. They're very wooden. I don't think they're paying attention because I don't even think they're real.
This will be the largest amount of Candace statues you will ever see in one place.
Probably. Slippery lawyers pleading their case here. This is Judge Angry Bees. Sometimes he's just asleep on the bench.
Yeah, have you ever seen that pet, Jessica?
I have. Trav actually used to get these and sell them.
Yeah. Sometimes it nods off and goes to sleep, so you see these little Z's coming from floating above him.
I recently bought myself the white one.
This is the witness stand, and they're supposed to swear on the book, but right now it's Lost Lord Mordor Besieged. Right here's like the pile of their legal briefs and whatever. These lawyers, they don't even look like they got it together, these 2.
They're all blank.
Yeah. And over here is the jail, and unfortunately right now the distant cousin is the one on trial. And what's going on here is like the Buckleberry moonshine smugglers are on trial, and the poor distant cousin, he's just the patsy. He's the fall guy. He's in jail with a sleeping pig and that poor guy hanging back there in a cage. Like, obviously he's not getting out. Things didn't go very well for him with these 2 lawyers, but anyway, they're gonna just bust him out because obviously look at these barrels here. You got his dwarf friend's gonna bust him out, and then they got some explosives, so there's a big jailbreak tonight.
Nothing but limbus, huh?
Bread and water for the prisoners.
See, the dwarf in a barrel is in disguise.
Yeah, he's hiding in the barrel. He's gonna bust him out. There's even a map of Middle Earth on the wall there, so they even have a map on how to escape. It's all corrupt anyway. They've already paid off the judge, so the judge is gonna go to sleep. The jury is wooden. They're just gonna blow the jail bars, and he's gonna get out because the Buckleberry moonshine smugglers are, they're a gang and they run Middle Earth anyway. Then over here is the judge's chambers. And Mostly Judge Angry Bees just sits here and counts gold and eats pies when he's not sleeping on the bench. He puts his books up here to look like he's official, but it's a joke.
So can
He's
you
like
pay him
Scrooge
off?
McDuck. Yeah, this is all the money he's been paid off today.
Just today.
I mean, the Buckleberry Moonshine smugglers, we toured their house last time, and obviously they have plenty of money since their whole floor is money. So this is like nothing to them.
But they're letting distant cousin take the fall anyway?
Well, yeah, they just sent him over here to go in the jail. I mean, he's only going to be in there for a day or so. And he's probably been there before. He doesn't know any better.
He eats paste.
Exactly. So that's order in the court. It's a courtroom.
See, here's my distant cousin. Special eats plate paste. Click on my pet name. Or show the pet names.
Oh goodness. There we go.
So there's
Special
always
eats paste.
this special eats
Oh,
paste.
special.
Yeah.
He can't spell.
You know how there's always those little kids in nursery school that would eat paste and stuff like that? Well,
I ate paste.
You're special.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. Okay, this one next door, this is out of business because, it happens. They weren't very good business people, so, the yard is a mess. It's all overgrown. Look at their business sign, the White Hand. They might have been corrupt too. Like they sold out to the mafia.
The doormat was askew.
Yeah, the doormat's even askew. The kids hang out here and throw darts at the walls and graffiti the walls, paint faces and stuff. Place is infested of spiders. This place is just out of business. There's varmints. They left the food to spoil, so it's got, maggots in it. It's terrible. Bats. I use these picture frames to board up the windows. I have to fix them, though. They're kind of crooked now since they made that change to the small walls. There, that's one fixed. Oh, I boarded up the fireplaces, too. But yeah, I wanted to cover like all the windows and things to make it look like it was truly out of business.
All boarded
Like
up.
it had been sort of looted and boarded up, and I used the Halloween face to look like graffiti. Yeah, but the danger sign, like kids were in here spray painting over the boarded up fireplace.
Maybe it was really a mafia business and they were burning people in the fire.
Maybe they were. The White Hand they joined the White Hand, so they just took off, and this place was like a meeting place for White Hand. That's why they have maps of the Barrow Downs here. But now it's got bats and crows, and it's not a nice place. And sometimes places fall on hard times. Oh, look at that. There's badgers and stuff in here too on the floor. And I made the walls. I tried to pick I wanted the walls to look like the paint had just been faded and dirty, and so I tried to pick make the colors just look really ugly. I think think it looks pretty ugly.
The baseboards look dirty.
Yeah. And then we go. Oh, this is the last one. Go across the street. This is the pub. It's the Thirsty Shrew. I love the names of the little pubs here, like the Bird and the Baby. So it's the Thirsty Shrew. So of course we had to have a shrew.
Cute.
And if you'll notice, look down at the floor. At least it looks different to me. Like they did something to the texture of this floor. It looks different to me. It almost looks like it's like three-dimensional. Like it really looks like a floor tile to me now. It's got like a texture to it.
That's the per pixel attenuation thingy. Remember the
Ah,
checkbox I was telling
okay.
you about?
All right. Yeah, it didn't used to look like this, but so this is just a fun Hobbit tavern, where you come and hang out. And so you come in here and here's the bar and the barmaid and get your drinks. That's a bowl of nuts, but I kind of thought it looked like mushrooms maybe because, hobbits, they love their mushrooms. And then you could sit over here by the fireplace and chat and eat some pretzels. Over here's this stage where they have performers under the stage light. And back here's the eating part, or the restaurant part, so you can have your tavern. Of course, there's the painting of honor, the Thirsty Shrew, so it's like set off with the little banner. And then kind of like the server station here where the servers like prepare the food or cut the food. It's just sort of decorated with taverny things, suits of armor, or deer antlers, or taxidermy. I sunk these like chandelier lights in the walls. I thought they kind of looked neat like tavern lights, but they looked better kind of, I don't know, I thought they just looked kind of cool sunken into the walls.
Like how she did the stage here.
Yeah, with the little candles,
Mm-hmm.
like a real stage.
Spotlight.
And this is the storeroom, and of course this is their pet shrew. He's their mascot. He nibbles on their supplies. And then this part back here is the game room. So you can play this is maybe a card game like poker. That's why there's piles of gold. Obviously, this person's doing much better than this person. And then over here, I tried to make a horseshoe game, like a horseshoe pitch.
Oh no, Michael! Said he accidentally opened his Gundabad, his 130
Yeah, his Valar.
Valar and his Bjorning.
Yep. You can try to put
Oh,
in a ticket for
no.
that.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
They might be able to revert it, huh?
But you make sure you don't use any of those things. Keep them grouped together so that the GM can see it in your inventory and get rid of it. Because that's what they'll do is they'll usually like delete the items from your inventory and then bestow you a new one. So keep them together, put in a ticket, pray for the best.
Yeah, I hope they refund that to you.
Yeah, I really like the horseshoe game that you made here.
Yeah, the
So-
horseshoe pitch. I sunk 2 tables, and then I used a chandelier for the pitch part. I sunk that, and it's like the chain sticking up. I think I was low on slots, so I used the ceiling slot. And then, of course, the horseshoes. And I think I mentioned last time how much I love these little in-league lamps. It just gives it a neat taverny feel.
They are super cute.
Oh, and I love this stone wall too. This is from the Rohan housing. And this was just like a great room for it. It feels kind of like a cavey sort of game room with the cool monster taxidermy heads in here. It reminds me of a place where I grew up in my childhood. There used to be this little restaurant. It was called the Cabin Kitchen. And they had all these like taxidermy animals in there. And it was really dark and creepy. And when you're like a little kid, they seem like 10 times bigger than they normally are. So I always thought it was kind of cool to go back through this restaurant and see all these big giant bears that seemed like they were 12 feet tall. This troll head is also a favorite of mine, the cave troll trophy. I just think it's so funny. I don't know why. I just love it. So that is the game room, and got your drinking crow in a stein. So this is just sort of a cozy, fun, orangey, dark, black, hobbity place to hang out.
Fun.
And that's all the further I've gotten with this neighborhood. I finished like right last year, like in December, I had gotten this far, and I literally haven't done anything else since then. I've been too busy in real life, that darn pesky real life.
It can get in the way, it can.
Yeah, it really can. So that is the end of my Hobbit touring, or this neighborhood, all my neighborhoods. I don't really have anything else that's finished or even presentable.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to give us the backgrounds and take us around. And oh my gosh, you've done such a fabulous job. I'm so happy that we've been able to do this. I hope
You are so welcome.
I hope if you find yourself with some time to do some more in the future that you'll let us know. Let us tour with you again.
I hope so. I'm hoping now that it's autumn, and usually things start to slow down in November for me for a little while. So I'm hoping.
It's exciting.
That's always my dream anyway.
You get a couple of months off usually for holiday?
Well, yeah, I get a couple months of like where I'm not so busy. Like what I do, I don't have a seasonal job, but it's just like the ebb and flow of what I do. It gets really busy at certain times and it's less busy at other times.
Yeah.
So things tend to get really quiet from like November through February. So I have like this, and it's, where I live, it gets to be winter, and our winters are real winters. So I can't go outside and do much. So I usually have lots of LotRO time. That's when I start decorating.
All right. Well, we're gonna get back to leveling. I am gonna head out of here.
Yes.
Thanks, Chromite.
When she says we, she means her. She talks in the third person or with about 3 people. So.
Yeah. Well, me and my pets.
I include my audience.
And my garden.
Are you hanging out with me longer, Chromite?
I may need to do some stuff and do some instances for gold traceries.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be kind of
You're occupied. No worries.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you need help, just let me know. I'm gonna be working on allies to prepare. So.
Okay. Well, thank you guys.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We finally